all the praise is for the Most High, guys. All the praise is for God to, allow myself and my staff to coach a awesome group of young men that allow themselves to be coached, to be pushed. All glory to God. I can't take credit for any of it. That video, man, boy, y'all almost had me up here crying, man. Some really special people, some special people I've known all of my life. I got my big brother here with me today. And then just some special people that I've gotten to know over the last year. President Law, Charlie Bradley. I've known Chucky for a long time. Radinko, Coach Pascal, like all of these people. AD Michael Kelly. All of these people. They play a huge role into a staff getting honored as Coach of the Year. And as I said to AD Michael Kelly last night, it's not a team, or a team wins a championship, but it's an athletic department, it's support staff, it's a lot of special people behind the scenes that help us win a championship. And so I'm just grateful and thankful for the community, for the support, for our fans, for the Forever Bulls, the coaches that have been here. I'm just very thankful and grateful for them. And again, to God be the glory.
All right, we'll open up for questions for Coach. Anybody?
All right, perfect.
Coach, along with you, a couple players were honored by the conference today.
Yeah.
Chris Youngblood being named co-player of the year.
Yeah.
What's there left to say about him and the season that he's had?
Man, I think I've said everything about Chris anybody could possibly say, but the thing that, people don't get to see about Chris, he's a good player, but man, he is a phenomenal person. He is a phenomenal person, and that's a credit to Dupree and LaDonna Youngblood, his parents. Chris comes to work, he comes to practice, I should say, but he'll say, I come to work, he does. He comes to practice, he comes to the facility every day with the same attitude, a consistent positive attitude that's built on work. And, you got to sometimes save Chris from himself, because he will stay in that gym all day long if he can. And he's so deserving of the award, but as he just said upstairs, I get to be player of the year because of my teammates, and that's just the type of person Chris is.
Insulting.
Oh, man. Don't make me cry up here, man. You talk about being proud of somebody, and when I got the job, like I instead of calling people and asking, hey, what was he like? What do I got to be ready for? The only thing I did, I just went and started watching film and spending time with him. But you had people reach out on their own and give their opinion of him. And I'm so fortunate, to be the son of William Abdurrahim and Deborah Hester, and that they raised me on the principles and values that they raised me on to, you listen, but you form your own opinion based off your interaction. I'm so glad I was able to do that, because Selton has been, I think, 6th Man of the Year and Most Improved. But just watching him grow and improve, not only as a player every day, but as a person, as a man, like, it's a reason why he won that award. He played well, but if somebody met the person Selton Miguel today and they knew him a year ago, I think they see a better man, a better person, and I'm proud of that.
We can talk about everyone's growth and development on and off the court all day.
Yep.
But for you personally, what has been some of the biggest takeaways from this season so far?
It's incredible. Special things can happen when no one cares who gets the credit. And this is a group of guys that they hadn't really cared who got the credit. And that's not easy to do in today's environment of collegiate sport, in today's environment, just period. So that's the first takeaway, that, like, I just love the fact that, they big each other up. They cheer for each other. The other thing that I take away is that when, as a leader, when your response is the right way, when your moral compass and the values that you carry are in line, you can really help people grow. You can help people change. And what we've been able to do for this university and this program, Rejuvenating, this program restoring the pride and the fun, the vibe back in the Yuengling Center, the old Sun Dome, and having our Forever Bulls still be proud of the foundation that they set and the place that they built. It's words can't describe it.
Are you going into the tournament, is your team going into the tournament with the mindset, if we want to get to the tournament, we've got to win the whole thing? Or do you even talk about it?
Our team is going into this tournament with a mindset of we still got something to prove. We don't forget the fact that they picked us ninth. You know, we don't forget that. And he'd probably be mad if I said this, but as his teammate said upstairs, we're not going to forget the fact that Cason Pryor, who averaged 14 and 8 on a championship team, was left off the first, second, and third team. We got something to prove, you know, and we don't talk about anything but being where our feet are, about right now, about today, about, you know, we talked about having a purpose and energy for our practice today. Our focus is going 1-0. It really is. It's going 1-0. We're trying to be 1-0. We're trying to be 1-0 at practice today, and then 1-0 again tomorrow, and then we're trying to go 1-0 on Friday, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. But this team has shown resolve and perseverance all year. They've shown consistency and toughness all year. So even if they don't want to recognize us, you know, as a whole, we still have control of the things that we can control, and that's what we're going to focus on.
I wanted to ask you about your team's collective free throw shooting. You are statistically the best free throw shooting team in the history of this program. What kind of things do you do at practice to challenge them at the free throw line? I'm not going to. A good leader, right, delegates, and he or she gives the credit where it deserves to be. One, it's on the players. Man, these guys they're relentless, you know, getting in the gym. They're in there every day. But I want to say it was the beginning, the middle of January, Coach Joy Williams, our chief of staff, she gave us a free throw drill. It's called 21 and 5. You put 5 minutes on the clock, and the guys line up on the baseline. Each guy goes through. They got to make, you know, you're supposed to make 2 free throws, but if you miss the first one, it's a down and back, right? If you make the first one, miss the second one, you got to go half court and back. And I thought when we implemented 21 and 5, it put a certain type of pressure on those guys that mimics the game. And, you know, they started really focusing on their routines. They started really taking time because they didn't want to run. You know, you can do a lot of running in 5 minutes if you're missing free throws. And we just we do some different things. You know, we actually, when we play in practice, somebody gets fouled, we work on huddles. And in the huddles, we talk about, hey, these are the things you need to be discussing. You know, for the free throw shooter, remind them, focus on your routine. And then defensively, hey, this is what we're going to be in. And we just, you know, we try to mimic the game as much as possible, you know, in practice. And I think it's helped.
Coach, you mentioned things to prove. You had a few days separation from your game at Tulsa. What have you seen from the guys? What role will that play in kind of getting you guys refocused and in the right mindset to prove some things?
No, I've seen the same resolve, the same response that I've seen from them all year. I stopped worrying about this group back in early January because when we came back from Christmas break, we had a really tough practice, and then we played a good Alabama State team, and we won. And their consistency in coming to practice outside of that Friday before we left for Tulsa had been pretty dang good, you know, and that I think that the performance at Tulsa, you give credit to Tulsa. They played well on their home court on senior day, which they should do, right? So we give them the credit. But I think our guys, they knew that our character and our humility wasn't in check. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. So I think those are the things that have got back intact and refocused.
Coach, when in an earlier question, you mentioned that what's happened over the past year with USF, it's been a rejuvenation. And a couple weeks ago, when a friend of mine called it a rebuild, you kind of corrected him on that.
Mm-hmm.
What about the word rejuvenate incorporated?
I think it's a slap in the face sometimes to use a rebuild. Like sometimes it is a rebuild, but this program has rich tradition, great history of great coaches, great players. So for me to come in here and say I'm rebuilding something, that's taking away the hard work that, Coach Pascal put in. It takes away the hard work that I think, or not takes it away, but it just diminishes the hard work that Coach Pascal put in, that Charlie Bradley, Radinko, Chucky, Dominique Jones, Altron Jackson. I think it just diminishes the work they put in. So instead of talking about a rebuild, we just want to rejuvenate the passion that those guys, instilled in this program. And by the grace of God, and all the glory is to Him, we've been able to do that. But we're not finished yet. We got more work to do.